we'll see if Fnatic can reassure, or at least maybe kind of show your confidence in them with this game, with this draft. They've gone for the Mars Phoenix. We've seen this a lot in the China region. Is this something you feel Adroit have good answers to?
Mars Phoenix is pretty much like the new Mars Willow.
Okay.
In that because Willow's kind of out of the meta, but Mars plus like any big AoE ulti, it's easy for him to protect. It's easy for you to play around. They're pretty good playmakers like for each other. But do Adroit have the good answer?
I mean, do you need to answer Mars Phoenix? Is it just something that exists and is good, or is it something you feel like that needs counters?
The best thing to do against Mars Phoenix is you shut down Mars's. You pick something that shuts down Mars's laning phase. If you give Mars a hard lane, then he has no items. He just dies in like 2 seconds.
Yep.
And he always has to play around the Phoenix, which sucks for him, meaning that like he just gets underleveled and underfarmed even more so. So if you give him a bad laning phase, you can definitely win this. But do I think they have like a good answer to it? Not really.
Okay.
I don't particularly like Morph against Mars, nor do I like him against Phoenix too much. And I also think like Morph has this really weird thing against Troll, where he's really good against Troll until he's not. Like once Troll gets 3 items, the matchup feels really hard because he just locks you in place. So I'd say I would favor Fnatic at 1.56 odds. I would definitely favor Fnatic. I think they win this game like 7 out of 10 times.
And you feel more confident in them because of the draft? Like you think they have a draft edge then?
I think they have a draft edge.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason why they lost their first series was against Boom or something.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of it came down to draft. I mean, I don't know if you saw or if you were up at that time, but they were doing like Undying off lane.
Yep.
They were doing some real oddities. I can't remember what else they had. I
They
think
had
it
a
was like
5-position bounty.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was the 5 bounty offlane Undying. And then the last game, they just straight up got outplayed.
Yep.
But it felt like they were feeling themselves like a little bit too much.
We're seeing some more of the 5 bounty. He's down bottom lane trying to secure a Morph lane. I mean, this is not a hero I feel like you get excited about as a Morph and be like, yeah, I've got a bounty hunter to secure my lane. He is going to go in, poke, steal some gold, but it's...
You want a Lich.
Yes.
You want something that straight up just... you want like an Ogre or a Lich, something that can just straight up win against the enemy 4.
Yep.
And when you hit like level 4 yourself, you get some kill potential. Because I actually think bounty kind of makes sense, because if you think about what bounty does, like, and what you think about what Morph does, Morph just wants to lead on the offlaner. He wants to hit level 3 when the offlaner is like level 2 or 1, and then you just deny everything. You hit like level 7 when the enemy offlaner is like 4 or 5. The game's really easy for you. So bounty in that sense, like, he will just go do something else. But you do need a hero that first does that for, like, puts you in that position.
And it does feel like their draft is very much kind of their win condition, as you say, is kind of the Morphling, it feels like. That's the hero they picked to kind of carry this game. They have got this mid Void Spirit, though, who so far has done pretty well as far as CS goes, playing into the Lycan. So not the Moon Troll mid. They do swap things up and send 23 Savage mid. And he's not really able to stop Void Spirit from having a good lane.
No, but the nice thing is that Void Spirit can't really stop Lycan from having a pretty good lane either. I think when it comes to like Lycan against most matchups, you're just going to sort of trade farm, and you're okay with that. Because you can't really kill most mid laners. Like, what do you have no real offensive toolkit to kill. And similarly, you have such high stats plus like HP regen. No one can really kill you either. So it's just you watch each other farm, gods, and see who comes out on top.
Sounds pretty chill. Less chill is this top lane where Jabs has been kind of blocked in by a fissure, but he does get himself back to his tower. Now the tower is going to help bring down Boomy.
I think he missed the hit too.
Oh, with the Whirling Axe mischance and an ensnare, the double whammy from Moon.
I don't know if the ensnare would have mattered, but it's like an additional, just like Dota saying, like, we want you to die.
Yep.
And this bottom lane has gone really nicely for this Mars. Like we said, apparently 5 bounty is just like a C thing that I've seen both sides of it run. Like Fnatic is running it, now Adroit's run it. But I think in a game like this, you would want a better lane secure.
Oh, mid lane. Boomy's TP'd in with a fissure block, is looking to pressure 23 Savage. Mac has the Remnant to pull him back in.
He's dead.
With some body blocks, yeah, it should be a kill. Oh, he's healing
need
up.
one more
He's
hit.
got the Hedges.
One
He's
more
got a
hit, one more
Tango
hit.
as well. He's trying to juke around. Mac has got a Aether Remnant in 3 seconds. He's going to need to land it. He's looking to dive for this one. 23 Savage. Oh, he summoned the Wolves, but unfortunately, it still pulled his hero.
He needed to run the Wolves with him.
Yeah.
At the same time.
To try and block it.
Yeah. Man.
Or even just to try and side. He didn't even really try sidestep the Aether. He stood still to recast Wolves and basically guaranteed it.
Of all the options, A, B, and C, that was the worst one.
Yep.
But still, he has pretty good farm. And they have decent-ish ways to deal with Void Spirit, honestly.
Yep.
They have an instant lift in the Rubik. Phoenix is quite nice. And so is Mars. So, like, Lycan's not bad either. Troll's good. Like, they have ways to deal with this hero.
Yep. Lycan will just happily TP back to the mid lane, and I think overall Fnatic, even with the death on the Lycan, aren't going to be too upset about how these lanes are going. Ice is just having such a great time in the off lane. Once again, loving this Orb of Venom build time and time again, just trying to pressure whoever he's laning against. This is like, to me, the quintessential like Ice item. He just will get it every single game on these melee cores.
Remember what I said, if you cannot pressure Ice in lane, most of the time that means a loss.
Yes.
Whenever we play against him, when he goes like 0-12 as an offlaner, then we're like, you know, they lost. But when he starts like 1-0, 2-0, or free farm CS, it's really hard to stop this guy. Like, he is so good at running leads. Whenever you give this guy a lead at all, it feels so miserable playing against him. Let me say, whenever I watch our games against him, I'm just like, why? How is this guy allowed to do this?
The fissure block is going to be brought down. Mac rotated in, using some of those astral steps to help burst him down. Ice, meanwhile.
What? He really killed more?
Just maybe, I don't know.
Well, you
sniped
lost.
him at low health, not sure. Obviously, landing a Spear of Mars there was probably the key ingredient.
You gave Ice a free lane.
Yeah.
That usually spells doom.
It's hard because this Fnatic roster is so stacked. I mean, you talk about pressuring him, but that means you're giving a player like 23 Savage free farm a lot of the time, which is another way Fnatic have won a lot of games. This guy is perhaps one of the best carry players in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, when teams beat, and they're going to pressure this Morphling who
just TP'd back in.
Just TP'd. This is a really nice move by Fnatic. And this, in a nutshell, by the way, tells you about Fnatic's philosophy as a team. Ice, he's a cool guy. He doesn't rotate to you. You rotate to him.
Yeah. He's like, you guys play around me. I'm not creating space for you guys. I'm going to be the one carrying this game. And I think the other thing it says about Fnatic is it's twice in a row now when they kill these heroes in the lane stage, they immediately try to kill him a second time. Last game was with the Shadow Fiend mid.
Oh, that's a good point.
When they killed him, he TP back in. They instantly dived him with a support rotation.
They like that pressure on pressure. They want to make sure that getting the kill alone is not that big of a deal. It's making absolute sure that you ruin their game. Because that's essentially what you did. You put Morph in a weird position now where he's got to walk all the way top, and he doesn't really want to do that. He's missing out on so much farm time, and this Troll's going to get ahead of him.
Well, the Troll's pretty far up here. Has 3 heroes converging on his lane down bottom, but he's pretty damn tanky and has backup himself. Ice is coming in, hits a spear into a tower here. Isn't level 6. Yeah, blocks him off. Yeah, Fnatic are just getting so much more room. Like I'd say on the opposite of what we were describing with Fnatic is like, Adroit, they kill 23 Savage mid on the Lycan, but he just instantly TPs in and is right back to farming. It didn't actually slow down his game at all, the fact they kill him that once.
Yeah, nowadays it's really solo kills that hit you the most, as I think he might actually die here.
He's going to get some help from Moon, so he's actually going to get a kill before he goes down, so it's a 1-for-1 trade in the end. They may lose some Necro Books and feed a little bit of gold. Natsumi is going to at least get something for that, but here comes Mars. Pops the arena and will kill off Box, Nature's Prophet. Luckily for Natsumi, he had Waveform up so he could just escape an up. But Natsumi, he's level 4.
Yeah, he is. I already talked about how it's a rough Morph game, and this isn't making it any easier. Mac did get a kill in return during this time, but he's not the reason why you're going to win or lose in this game. And that's what the best teams do. It's like in basketball, where you're going to give one player like the opportunity to get his, but as long as like you're keying in on the right people. And that's kind of what they did. It's like, Mac, have the best game ever. Have your Kobe 81-point performance. No one else is getting anything.
Yeah.
Because Mac, I don't know if he can carry this game by himself with the hero matchups that he has.
It's feeling like a tough one for Adroit. And after how game 1 went, they've only got Mac on top of the net worth chat doing particularly well, I'd say. Bok doing all right. It's just scary when you're in Nature's Prophet. This is a hero that's very susceptible to going down.
I never want to see, if I'm in a game, my Nature's Prophet be my most farmed hero.
Yeah.
Because the downside of that hero is he will die. At some point, that hero is going to throw away his lead.
Mac's doing well, though. He's gotten a kill for his team. Unfortunately, his team, though, getting picked apart. 23-7 is Lycan with his Shapeshift. Gets a couple of kills. His Necro 3 is almost completed. He's got the second up already. So not long now before he's got Necro 3. Very fast timing there.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get it at a reasonable time. It's just, how in the world is his Morphling going to recover?
Yep.
He is so far behind, and the downside for Morph 2 is he's not one of those heroes that you feel particularly good about fighting.
Ooh, they wanted to get the outpost. They'll get the outpost. Ice is A-okay for now, it looks like. He may look to try and fight this with some backup. Just barely Bok gets the outpost. He couldn't spear and stun both of them. He could only get one, so luckily.
Pros hold the diffuse.
Pros don't fake.
Pros don't fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Morph isn't one of those heroes. Like, you know, I've seen some games where, for example, OG plays Monkey King, and their Monkey gets behind early, and they're like, all right, it's time to fight. But Morphling is not one of those heroes. Morphling is not one of those heroes that you want to just roam around with at level 7, just trying to take engagements. He has to come back through farm. That is the one weakness of this hero, is that if he has a really poor laning phase, which he doesn't really have many of, just because the nature of the hero is like he's very good at denying creeps and last hitting.
Yeah.
But if you have a bad laning phase on this hero, it does feel really rough trying to get back into the game. And Natsumi's feeling that definitely in this game.
Yeah, he's in full recovery mode, hoping that Mac can create all kinds of space for him. Mac's done well. He's 5-0 so far. But doesn't feel like he's going to be able to do it all on his own.
No, he needs a little bit more help.
Yeah, and Boomy's working on a Blink Dagger on Earthshaker, so that's perhaps one silver lining, that he's a bit over halfway there. But does feel like Fnatic, the pressure and the heat's coming soon.
I want Fnatic to rotate mid, actually. I think if you don't allow this Earthshaker to just sit here and push back the wave and farm and get a blink, your game's going to be really easy on the side of Fnatic. Similarly, I think if you just allow him to sit here and get his blink, you're finally going to give them some more options.
Yep.
And this could be the kind of space that they need. So that's exactly what they do. They bring a lot of heroes mid.
Yep. They bully DJ out of lane on the Phoenix. He gets very low, 60 health. As that Nature's Prophet ultimate comes flying on in. But they defend the T1 tower. I think Adroit recognized this T1 tower is kind of going to be key for them salvaging this game, having Morphling able to just farm the jungle and catch up. If they lose the Tier 1 mid, suddenly they're going to lose a lot of map control.
Yeah, a nice thing about Morph is with Mask of Death, you never have to go back to base, and you do farm pretty quickly. Just, I would say at minimum he needs Yasha, and then he'll start to feel, he'll feel like he's back in the game, in a sense.
Well, Fnatic, it's been kind of quiet last few minutes for them after fast start, and we're actually seeing Adroit with the slight gold lead. They have got a kind of greedy farm draft going now. We see Bok picking up a Maelstrom, a very quick one at that. First item.
Oh, this would be a huge kill if they don't let him get his ulti off.
Yeah, they don't. The rotation coming in, though, with the Lycan Shapeshift and the Necro 3, this could be terrible for Adroit if they haven't got answers to the Lycan. And CML, unfortunately, you can't hide from the big bad Lycan. He's chasing you down. He's got the dust to help him out. And now next in line with the spear is going to be Mac. There's going to be an Arena Blood catching him on the edge. Not that it was maybe needed. 3 down. They get the response kills.
And Nature's Prophet is down here, but we see the problem with Nature's Prophet. In straight up fights like that, you don't love him as a hero. He's not providing you anything.
Yeah, you're going to get ran at the same way your team did by this Lycan, it feels like.
Yes, and we finally see, like I said, not an easy game for Void Spirit to play. Feels like it was kind of inevitable he was going to die.
Yep. Gave away that streak gold, and he's not necessarily, like, he's got good net worth, but it's mostly from getting these kills, so he will slow down. This hero does not necessarily farm that fast.
Yeah. I would say that Adroit's lineup actually has two big issues. Is they don't just have one hero that can't really fight. They have two. They have this Bounty Hunter and this Nature's Prophet that play the Vision and Space game well, but when it comes to like these straight up engagements, they're kind of weak, which kind of leaves Mac to have to do a lot. Like he has to do a lot of this early game heavy lifting.
Yep. And
he doesn't really have a natural like kill partner to play with aside from Boomy playing this Earthshaker who's desperately trying to get his blink. Like they're very timing based lineup. So they're gonna go for a kill, and they might actually have it with this. Wow, jabs with the stolen Aether Remnant.
That's so bad for Mac's game, and I mean just for Adroit's game when he's the most farmed hero on their team. Back at top, CML was trying to stop DJ from taking this outpost, and as a result, he may get picked off and brought down. The earn damage is not going to be enough, so we'll get out of there. But imagine Fnatic just looking to claim this outpost for now. Maybe contest these bounty runes. Speaking of which, Bok is going to TP to the other side of the map, so Adroit looking to try control as many of these bounties as possible.
I like that. That's one of the ways that you could potentially get back into the game.
Yep.
If you're being pressured, the last place they expect to look is in their own area.
Oh, so they get 3 of the 4 bounty runes, I believe. Nice little boost in gold for them. The net worth is still fairly even between the two teams. Big part of that, maybe the annoying 5-position bounty just constantly sniping little bits of gold from the enemy.
He taketh.
Yep.
Really farm Lycan, though. I would imagine that they want to go for Roche next if they can.
They don't really have any heroes that deal well with Lycan.
No.
I'd say.
It's really problematic. They are going to go for the smoke with the blink.
Look at this Lycan, by the way, queuing up the Aghanim Scepter. He's looking to buff up his troll, I guess. He's got a great damage dealing partner. That's the key to getting Ags on Lycan. Top lane, though, meanwhile, Ice gets brought down.
They thought they were going to collapse a little bit earlier, and they still want to take this fight because they feel like their team fight is just better.
I know, Mungo's charging. He's going to get sprouted up to kite him around, but DJ with the Sunray has enough damage to help bring him down, and they're looking to chase for more.
Get out of there, Natsumi. Yeah, you're going to die, dude.
Oh, Natsumi, blink, Echo Slam, kind of turn it around. It's going to be a Supernova, though, to try and counter this one. With the stuns coming out from Fnatic, they're keeping the Egg alive for now. The Fire Spirits are not enough.
He's got it.
And Adroit have killed off the Egg. They've lost 3. Lycan's charging forward, but this shapeshift's about to... Yeah, it's worn off. Oh, no. Boomy gets him with the Blink Totem, and this is so good for Adroit.
Oh, Boomy's insane.
Well, that's what they were waiting for, that Blink Dagger on Shaker, and boy, does it pay off.
And they thought for sure they were going to win that fight. The Egg was a quarter second off, and now Jabs is going to feed too. That's 4 heroes. That's actually a team wipe because Ice died in the beginning of that. And respawn, and they just clump up. They did not expect the Echo. They needed all those heroes up to be able to save the Egg, and even worse than that, the Phoenix Egg, he made that classic error of trying to get as close as possible with the Egg.
Yep. They just got a little bit overconfident, and you know, Ice.
Look at this clump.
With all the Lycan summons as well.
And then the Egg was so... they just turned and all hit it.
Yep. It was a nice attempt from Fnatic to take a fight, but without the Mars, it was perhaps one they should not have gone for. If Shaker had used Echo Slam to kill Ice, he did use the Blink Dagger, but it wasn't with the Echo. So Fnatic knew there was a Blink Shaker waiting for them.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a discipline thing, but they are going to walk into Roche.
We saw this last game. Fnatic lose a fight against long cooldowns. They instantly walk into Roche. Yeah.
It is a good play, but still, with no Phoenix Egg, and Phoenix Egg is, let me say, one of the best tools in Roche Pit.
Yeah. It's up in 10 seconds, though, so it's very close to coming back online. I think that's why Fnatic pull out for now.
And I like this move. They're going to go for the wraparound. They have full vision. They know that Adroit's holding this high ground area, and here they go.
Shaker. They get him with the Sunray before it can blink out. Boomy's in all sorts of trouble. The Sunray damage is just stuck on top of him. It's going to bring him down. They lose the Rubik to do so, but they've got more. They've got Mac, and with the Phoenix Egg pushed very far back, that's going to deter Adroit from taking this fight. Bok trying to BKB TP out, but the right-click damage is there. And 23 Savages charging forward. He's not going to be able to bring him down. The Necro 3 wearing off.
So they're just going to go right back into Roche, and what a play by Fnatic. I like that. That's a really gutsy move. They split up because they're quite sure that Adroit isn't going to try to initiate on them. They want to play that counter game. And they wait, and they find the perfect angle, catching all 3 heroes unawares from behind.
Nice, nice spear. We'll catch CML, but this dust is wearing off soon. But He gets the kill in time.
Must have just had the damage for that.
Yeah, that was. He doesn't have any damage items, so.
That was real close. They finally allowed Moon to hit in these fights. I feel like that was something that was really lacking. They just blew him up every fight, and they would start without him.
What brings the balance back, or perhaps swings it a bit more into Fnatic's favor once again. They're still down a couple thousand gold, but with this Aegis, this stage, feels like they're going to hit a scary timing with 23 Savage also almost having the Aghanim Scepter. Actually buys the point booster and sells it, so it seems like he's still unsure. And actually going to shift back to a BKB. I think his team are like, yeah, just focus on your game first.
I don't know if this wolf bite thing, I don't know if you've seen our troll just die in 2 seconds.
Look, I was hyped for. I think Fnatic were having a bit of fun when they felt like this game was under control, but now that it's a bit more even.
Dude, if he went wolf bite and they lost, that'd be sad times.
Yeah. It's always a little bit harder in these online tournaments to stay as focused, I feel. Like,
yeah.
Ice when he died at the neutrals early was one of those deaths where I'm like, if that's a LAN, he's not dying there to like 4 heroes.
Yeah.
He was just trying to snipe a neutral kill or something.
It's one of those things where Ice has been around for so long that I think it's just hard for him to stay as focused.
Yeah.
Like, if you've been playing Dota, I mean, this guy's been a Dota 1 legend for the past, like, I'm trying to do math right now, like 16 years or something of your life, 15 years. You've been playing professional games and you're like, hey, all of a sudden, by the way, these like high tempo lands where like you've been playing for millions of dollars. Of course, ESL matters, but like you have to be a little bit desensitized. But he's got to pick it up for his teammates because experience is very necessary for guys like 23 Savage.
Yes, that's the thing. The young players, you normally talk about how they need those experienced veterans next to them. You and Ice setting a good example for 23 Savage.
Just because you've been around the block does not mean that everyone gets to be around the block.
And 23 Savage, this guy's young. He hasn't earned much money in his career. Ice, he's got like 10 years of playing at TIs. He's made bank, you know. 23 Savage is looking to make his bank here at ESL. And Ice leading the way. That's much better. Leading by example. Catches out Mac, who's now died 4 times. He's 11-4-1, which is, you know, on paper a pretty good scoreline, but these deaths have been adding up quickly.
This man has made 1.5 million
in his career.
1,550,000. I should add the 155 because that might be more than most people, as they're going for the high ground here.
Yeah, they say, why not? We've got this Aegis. Let's look to break it. They also just picked up the BKB on 23 Savage, so with the buyback being forced on Boomy, they will back off since they now have to respect the Blink Echo Slam.
I love when Mars is run backwards like that. I don't know, it looks so funny to me. He's just like, hold.
The hero like portrait and design is already like kind of fun and comic booky almost. Like I think he's got such a cool, fun design. But
just looks like a Disney character.
Yeah. Yep.
And by the way, 23 Savage has made 25,000.
Okay.
So half of that added number that I had almost neglected to mention from Ice's winnings.
Bit of a discrepancy, and you never know with Pro Dota how long your career is going to last. There's been players who's like made it onto a tier 1 team, and then, you know, a year later they're never to be seen on a tier 1 team again. So
yeah. I'm actually really excited for the addition of online leagues again. Yeah. I feel like online leagues, like LANs are good for sure, but like online leagues, you see some wild stuff happen. Plus, everyone gets to play from like the comfort of your home. So in a lot of ways, like the level of play is going to be really good. This Jabs is certainly dead here.
In no man's land. Steals the track. May try to get off a second track. Has teammates nearby though. They're charging in. They've got the Lycan Shapeshift being popped from afar. TP out. Is it going to come in time? Yep. Manages to escape. Adroit, a team who also has a lot of new young players. Few slightly experienced veterans who've been around the block, but most of these are not names your everyday Dota fan is going to recognize.
Yeah, being able to knock out a team like Fnatic into last place could potentially be so big for them, but right now they are getting worked on as the Morph does have the Aghanim Scepter. This is, you know, obviously this was 23 Savage's bread and butter.
Yes. Good old Morph Shaker. As, Boomy. He's been caught out. He doesn't have buyback as well. He drops the Echo Slam onto Moon, but he's been pushed away and speared in the trees. He does manage to escape. Natsumi getting out of there.
It's actually not bad for them. This was the BKB and the Troll ulti used, plus that was the Aegis, so they should re-engage here, and they're going to.
They just charge him with the Void Spirit. They bring down one. The Phoenix doesn't get a chance to use the egg, and Moon's got to be careful. He hasn't got an Aegis, so he's on 20 health here. Doesn't have the ultimate as well, but luckily for him, he gets out, and 23 Savage is able to lead the charge here. Bok as well as Mac in full retreat. 23 Savage with Shapeshift wearing off needs to get the hell out of here, and it looks like Fnatic is just going to try to cut their losses here. IceIce's TP gets cancelled, so he is done for,
Face away.
Theoretically. Get him from behind. And that's a track kill. A lot of these kills are adding up with the track money.
That's good gold. And Fnatic just not being 100% disciplined in these engagements. Feels like they're sort of rushing things a little bit from what it looks like. They have Aegis. They're not really utilizing it. By the time it goes down, they're still trying to engage. Like, they're making moves a little bit hastily.
Yep.
And there's still a lot of fight left in Adroit. Now that they have the Earthshaker Morphling combo.
Yeah, we've not even really touched upon that until now because Morph was having such a bad game that it just...
I also forget about it all the time, if I'm honest. Just because it went from being like the most broken concept, I can't believe IceFrog let this in, to it's pretty good.
Every game it wasn't bad, it was like, are they just going to first two Shaker Morph?
Yeah.
And then, like you say, it's got heavily nerfed, so still playable. Still one of the nice partners for a Morphling to have.
Oh, Fissure.
Yep, they get the chain stun.
He's gone.
They just delete 23 Savage. Doesn't get a chance to use any spells, and Moon will get a revenge kill. Natsumi's gone as well. Both carries go down. What just happened, Will?
And now CML's going to die too. People are just dying, kind of.
That's what I saw too. Okay.
They just sort of
Glad
died.
we're on the same page.
Yeah. 23 Savage, his team was going to back him up, and now they're going to go for the high ground here because Moon is the true one position of this game.
Well, they've got the repair kit, though. If they can keep this tower alive.
Oh, Ice whiffing kind of badly.
Yep.
He's trying to hold the front line.
Still want to get this tier 3. They'll do so.
They should back out now.
Yep.
There's no easy way for their Lycan to get to them quite yet. Just wait 30 seconds. You can even wait for the next Aegis if you'd like.
Yeah. At least wait for the Lycan to come back. No more Ags queued up. I'm a little bit sad.
Oh, I was totally down for the Wolf Bite.
Yeah.
It's kind of game throwy, but I think it would be hype.
Yeah. Give your troll some crit. It's a lot of movement speed and some damage buff.
You know who suggested that to, who I heard suggest that first? Was Jimmy, actually, Demon.
Ooh, Blink Echo Slam top.
He's dead.
That's a dead troll now.
And the courier goes down too.
Fnatic are looking to get some revenge kills. They've caught out Boomy with the Mars Arena. So we 1 for 1. I mean, not your everyday game of Dota where like getting these random pickoffs are on carries. First it's a Lycan, then a Morph, now a Troll. It's some good old pickoff Dota, and Bok is just going around split pushing. This feels like 2013 Dota right now. He's getting caught out though while doing so. Okay, IceIce's dropping items. Oh my gosh.
He's got no BKB now.
Yep. Bok goes down. No respect being shown by IceIce.
I love the item dropping.
Yeah. That's something I'm glad we have IceIce when it comes to Dota 2. Doesn't do a whole lot of interviews and say much outside of the game, but he lets his playing do a lot of talking.
He's a very expressive offlaner. Let's say is the best way to put it.
Yes. It's like the opposite of, like, I used to always contrast him to Universe, who was like the most vanilla offlaner possible, like godlike offlane player, but in his prime. But
yeah, he's gonna make the calculated play that's like very safe and smart. IceIce is going to blink in, try to outplay you, do some, just try to solo shenanigans you.
The eternal envy of the offlane, kind of.
Yeah. He just, he's very skilled, and so it works. It's one of those things where a lot of players that aren't as mechanically talented, you would be like, why are they doing that? but he gets bailed out a lot, I feel, by his individual skill. As they're going to run into Moon here, maybe they could blow him up, and they've got him.
Again?
He has to really respect, or he's got to start respecting that they have like 8 seconds of stun on him. He's not getting his ulti off in these positions.
Yeah, they're so good at chain stunning him with these fishes, and well, maybe another pickoff going the way of Fnatic as Boomy gets caught up by an arena now, and oh, Phoenix on the back line. Yeah, they've got a BKB Void Spirit who's just wrecking the backlines of Fnatic. Mac has just gone diving in, catching out all the here's the back, but Lycan gets a return kill onto the Bounty Hunter, and meanwhile Ice going down as Bok TP's in with a Sprout. 4 for 2, and it could be Adroit who want to go for the Roshan. It has respawned as 23 Savages tracked up. Oh, he gets caught by the fish at that cast range. Holy cow. Can't believe that actually got him. All right, doesn't jump in. He's out of mana, it looks like. He's getting slowed down as well by the Wolves as well as the Necrobok.
He's got the gem on 23 Savage. This is actually massive. He doesn't, he's 100% dead. This is a throw. They're not playing.
This doesn't feel like a Dota game.
No, it's something's really weird because they're just kind of running. Both teams are just sort of running at each other and seeing like they're rolling a dice.
It's very pub Dota where everyone's playing by themselves, kind of.
Yeah, and I've never seen Moon, by the way, have as bad of like a run as I have in this league. Like when he lost that Monkey King versus Ember matchup. Yeah. I was like, this is not the Moon that I'm used to seeing. And let me say, this is not the Moon that I'm used to seeing, as this is going to be an Aegis picked up now.
They brought back Lycan for that, too. But they were not going to be able to get there in time.
We will continue our streak of 3 games, it looks like, at this rate.
We're just going to be able to make a highlight reel of Moon getting picked off, perhaps.
It's been a lot this game.
He's just getting picked apart. These pickoffs, that's exactly what you don't normally see from these tier 1 teams like Fnatic. And we talked about at the start of the series, they can, go at it with the best of them, but every now and then, it can be a roller coaster for Fnatic fans.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, this is definitely one of those games where you're just kind of, as a Fnatic fan, you're wondering like, hey.
Here comes Natsumi. He's got that Aegis now. He's looking to take any fight he can. Yeah, there's endless stuns here. Bok with the BKB on the Nature's Prophet, just trying to turn and fight.
23 Savage
Moon
is dead.
has the Basher. Well, no 23 Savage for this fight with that buyback. That really cost his game. Nature's Prophet goes down, but he does a buyback if they want to try and force this fight here. Moon needs to run, perhaps. His BKB wearing off. He's just going to pop the ultimate. He gets the bash. He's trying to chain stun Mac, but the Earthshaker blinks him with an Echo Stand. They've got the stuns. They're chain stunning Moon. He's got no escape. He goes down to the Natsumi Morphling, and it's going to be 4 dead, probably 5 here. Ice gets a kill on his way out. Takes out CML, but he's been tracked up. An ultra kill for Natsumi. Team wipe. Adroit up 13k gold, and with a chance to just win this game.
Yeah, and Natsumi showing 23 Savage. This is how you run the Shaker Morph. Yep. He had the worst start that I've seen in a really long time. When Ice was like level 7, he was 4 jungling. He had been killed twice in his lane, then they killed him a 3rd time. And I was thinking to myself, this game is really impossible for him to come back in. And just series of questionable calls from Fnatic. That top fight, probably chief among them. That's sort of what started this spiral. When they decided to take that 4v5, and then they grouped up for the Echo with all those creeps and wolves.
Yeah, this really felt like a game that should have been secured for them at some point, but now they find themselves down 20k gold.
Could you imagine if they lose this game and lose the series, and all of a sudden they're last place in the group? Yep. They went from 1st seed to last.
Not what you'd have expected coming into this one. Fnatic, who won the last LAN before LAN Dota pretty much ended, now finding themselves down in the SEA ESL One League here. Well, it's not over yet. They're down 4 racks, but they've still got some late game potential. I feel like one of the things with these early game tempo carries is they do seem to scale better into the late game. We've seen these Lycans go 50, 60 minutes and still have an impact. Obviously, talents play a big part in that, but these carries don't necessarily fall off as hard as they used to. Blink in. Arena Blood going to catch out CML. They should have this Bounty Hunter kill, but here comes Bok TPing on in on the Nature's Prophet. He's looking to just turn and fight this one. Bok needs to be careful. He's going to BKB. Has to TP himself out of there. 23 Savage going to go looking for a new target on the Lycan. Who's he going to find? It's Natsumi that he wants, but Natsumi he can't catch up to. Instead, finds a new target in Mac, but once again, he's been kited around. The mobility of these Adroit heroes, proving to two different.
They're going back in.
Yeah, with that fissure, catching up multiple heroes. They're going to drop the Supernova nice and early here just to protect them.
And the Rubik Glyph actually stuns Bach on the way down.
Morphling has an Aegis, so he's going to be respawning, and Fnatic have disengaged here, not losing any heroes just yet, but Natsumi wants to chase with the E-Blade. Doing some good damage here. The TP attempt from 23 Savage is going to be easily cancelled by Boomy with the Shaker. Jabs on the high ground is trying to do what he can, but he gets caught up by Mac, who just steps his way through him. And Ice is surrounded in the middle of multiple enemy heroes, just dancing his way to the grave. Perhaps a little bit too much jazz and fun happening from Ice.
I mean, I hope they're having a good time because they're going to give themselves another opportunity to have a good time with a third game.
That's the thing, Will. They're having so much fun. They wanted a game 3.
Yeah,
like, let's go.
You know, that's why Liquid loses all the time. You know, we have a good time just playing more Dota. That's the objective.
Yeah. Lower bracket. Lower bracket's not for bitches. Lower bracket is for people who want to have some fun.
Yeah, you want to play as many games as you can. You're trying to give the fans a treat. Yeah.
We'll see one last look at that last team fight here, but it's also Adroit. They're going for the game end, and GG has been called as we help ourselves out of that replay. It's been called with some good old-fashioned item droppings. Adroit, you know, you mentioned after Ice what he did in game 1 with the GG